Hey, thanks for coming. We're going to talk about a modern day problem, the law of attraction. And why it doesn't work. You know, one of the things that really strikes me is everybody thinks they're so smart. Okay, so I was looking on, I checked out some of the thousands of videos on YouTube saying, oh, you got to have more energy, you got to get this quantum stuff. You know what the definition of a fanatic is? It's somebody that keeps on doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to have different results. So if I looked at all these things, I even saw the videos by Bob Proctor, the guy that helped put together The Secret. I know Bob Proctor's friend. And Bob Proctor was having a lot of health problems. Well, I guess he attracted something to him, didn't he? Let me tell you, when I did the analysis of all these videos out there saying, how come it doesn't work? Okay. And they were saying, more energy, you got to take action, Tony Robbins, action, right? Even Dr. Schuller, who I met once, possibility thinking. And the thing that I came up with is not that they had different answers, to be sure, or in a broad range. But the one thing they didn't talk about was God, or even infinite consciousness. I'll try and make this simple for you. If you're a parent or you've been a kid and you had good parents, your parents did their best to give you what you wanted. You give your kids whatever they ask for if you have the available money and you think it's good for them. Okay? So if we are children of God, and I believe I am, then God wants us to have every good thing, including money. Hey, they don't talk about that, do they? Every religion, every true religion, among its qualifications as a religion, is that it should make you better off financially. Another phrase I didn't hear in these videos, which is sort of a mantra for businesses that want to succeed: under promise, over deliver. What does that mean? That means that you tell people that you're going to do something in a contract, but you end up actually doing more than you were asked to do. And so like CEOs, they will come on and make a prediction, well, we're going to raise sales by 5%. And over the next quarter. And in the next quarter, they come back and they say, oh, well, we did 6%. Under promise, over deliver. Okay. Another word you don't hear, or another phrase, natural order. Geez, there isn't anything about karma. Let me give you the classical definition of karma. They use a bow and an arrow and a sack of arrows to talk about karma. When you string an arrow on a bow, you pull it back, and then you let it go. That arrow in flight, you can't touch anymore. That's the karma that you had at birth. You let that karma go. Okay, well, does that mean that you can't change karma? Well, yes and no. The karma that you're aware of, you can change. But there's something called the natural order. And that is, okay, so I've got a right hand and a left hand. The law of attraction doesn't say or put limits on itself. It doesn't give time limits. It doesn't give limits on what you can do. Okay, but if I have the law of attraction working for me, I can wish to change my hands. Okay? But the natural order of things says, instead of having my hands over here, I would always wish to do this. Have my hands in the right place so I can grab things and manipulate it without having to switch. So even if you can do something, doesn't mean that you will. Well, how does this whole switching arms have to do with the natural order of things and the law of attraction not working? Well, and karma. What it means is that your past karma is already in your life. It's the arrow that's been let loose. Well, can you change it? Well, it's difficult. But you have to know what it is, what's happening. So you're praying for money with the law of attraction. But if your karma is to be poor, what can you do? Well, you can shift a needle. So instead of being extremely poor, you could just be slightly poor in the next year. And the year after that, you can be a little bit more rich. But if you try to go from being extremely poor to extremely wealthy, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? Well, let me tell you what the history, the statistics are about people that win the lottery. Only 5% of the people 5 years from the winning of the lottery still have any money left. All the rest are broke again. Wow. Okay. Definition of fanatic. You keep on doing something even though you expect the results to be different. Well, if you don't get God on your side, things aren't going to be any different. And I never could understand that, really. If you're going to be getting wealth from involving God in this situation, why do not people invoke the presence of God more often? Well, anyway, it's hard to explain people making wrong choices. But for me, if my life is going to be easier by saying that God is present and helping me get stuff, I'm going to do it. And by God, it works. Now, I never really asked for money in the sense that I really wanted to get it. Because when you read about people that get wealthy, they also get worried. And I've managed to get this far by depending on God. I haven't always been happy in the way that it worked out, but God has always supported me and always come to my rescue. Part of this reason for this tape today, this video today, is that someone called me. She's very, very powerful. But she struggled all her life. She has control of a tremendous amount of energy. So I told her, in order to make her life better, that she should pray for her friend, her non-friend, Ron, who's been very mean to her lately. She prayed for him to have money. And she questioned me, why should I do that? And when I explained to her, okay, so I'm sorry I'm rambling a little bit. This is a powerful, powerful subject. And people want to make their life better. So I'm going to ramble a little bit because I'm looking at the camera, and there's a whole host of people that are looking at this video with different needs. There's always one answer to being in a beautiful place, is that God wants us to be happy. He wants us to be powerful. He wants us to be in control. Okay? He wants us to be free. But He doesn't want us to be making other people unhappy. When you look at rich people, one of the strangest things was to hear is that Ronald Reagan wanted people to be independent, but he hardly donated any money to charity at all. And at the end, he had Alzheimer's. There's a connection. God wants you to be healthy and happy and have every good thing. We are His children. So what I told my friend to do was to pray for her unfriend. And she couldn't understand it at first. I said, well, you have power. See, when you're listening to me, you should be thinking, okay, I want to do good for you. I do. It's taken me a long time to understand. Most of my life, as a matter of fact, that most people have an agenda. And maybe you're part of the agenda, and maybe you're not. But even people that are watching this video, something good is going to happen to them. Because I wish everybody, even the people that don't like me, to have good. And it was always so surprising to me as I went through life, is that people sometimes would do me bad. And later on I would find out, well, something good happened to them. It was a wonder to me. But I realize it's because I wish everyone well. And that's what I told my friend. Wish people around you well. It's not as if you can cut it off and do something along here. Well, we got a little bit of ways from this law of attraction and why it doesn't work. But the answer always comes back. Whatever you want to come to you, you should do unto others. Sounds like something somebody else said. What is it? Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Oh, it's similar to the Ten Commandments. Under promise, over deliver. So if you do extra for people, and you plant the intention with God, I'm doing extra for people, God, because I want extra to come back to me. That's an attitude, isn't it? It's actually an attitude that you want to be, or a be attitude. Okay. You have to ask yourself, when you don't, okay, ask yourself a question. I put into the law of attraction into effect. I'm thinking the right thing, and it still doesn't happen. My question to you would be, first, did you involve God in this? Have you done the right reframe? In other words, thinking that, okay, when I don't succeed, I'm going to just keep on doing it until I do. It's not a question of it not succeeding. So you covered the action part that everybody else is telling you about. You have to ask yourself another question. How is getting this thing that I'm asking for going to make me happier? What's going to be gone away out of my life, and I'll be happy it's gone? Well, then the next question should be, what am I doing to make room for the thing I want? Okay, if you want to be a medical doctor, you better go to university. Hadn't you better get good grades? Okay, have to apply for loans. You're going to have $200,000 in loans by the time you're finished medical school. It's only going to take you a couple of years to pay it off, but that's a frightening thought. If you don't make it. So you have to take action. Okay. What if your IQ is normal? Okay, you're not IQ of 140. Most doctors are pretty smart. Are you going to be willing to spend the time to make up, to do the studying, to do the memorization? A lot of memorization. So this is the natural order of things. This is what you came into this life with. Yeah, I'm sorry it's taking me a while to sort of zoom in on all this because the people watching this video have such strong desires. And I went to CEO Space. This is Bernie Dorman's organization, the guy that knew Bob Proctor. And when you meet the people that are there, they're driven. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And Bernie's group is saying, "Oh yeah, you can do that. Just pay us some money. We'll make it happen." Or not. If you don't put forth the effort, it's really all your fault. And I'm the one that judges whether you put forth the effort. And as a consequence, a lot of them don't make it. They learn something, they get an education, but they're less happy than before. How could something like that last? They think they're doing good. Who knows? So, okay, well, I'm sorry we're getting into an area that you may not have liked. If you ask from the law of attraction for something that's going to make you unhappy, do you think the universe is going to conspire to get you what you want? Your subconsciously, see, the thing is that you got to realize is your subconscious is smarter than you are. You didn't know that, did you? Your subconscious, according to the Vedas, 3,280,000 thoughts per second. Okay? And this is creating your reality around you. If you're a homeless person sitting on the sidewalk and somebody comes along and says to you, "Mr. Homeless Person, do the law of attraction. Imagine yourself rich." And of course you'll be that. Wow. He's got his 3,280,000 thoughts per second telling him, "I'm a homeless bum, I haven't had a shower for a day, I'm still scrounging for a hamburger and a cigarette and maybe a bottle of alcohol. And here you are, have the temerity to tell me that I'm going to be rich. Isn't going to happen, is it? That's the natural order of things. You know, let me talk to you about magic, because that's really what the law of attraction really wants to do. My friend on the phone today said, well, I need to get $3,000 to get into this apartment. And I said to her, okay, send me $3. And as you send it, before you send it to me, you pray over each one that they're going to turn into $1,000. She said, okay, she'll do it. Okay. See, if you're going to complain about something or talk about the negatives, the only way you can do that is you can set up a positive. So I'm telling you that there's magic that can be done. Magic is only a law that you don't yet understand. So the answer to all this is to getting what you want through the law of attraction is not to stop thinking about what you want, but to put it in a different context. Have God help you. You can push down and you can do, I'm going to do this and I'm going to wreck my whole rest of my life to get that done. Just so I don't have to give God any credit. Now you can do that, and then you'll be unhappy. That's the truth. You could under-promise and over-deliver. But what's that going to do for your family life? Prosperity it comes from the Greek word prospero. And that means to grow like a tree. So prosperity is that all parts of your life become energized, become full. The roots, the trunk, the flowers, the fruits, everything. Not make one thing grow at the expense of all the rest. Like all the people that are following Bob Proctor. Okay, so God, reframe, think about things differently. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Another version is that under promise, over deliver, because that's what you want people to do for you. Use magic. That's how you get around the laws of karma, a little bit. Not too much, not too fast. You have to shift things along. The Gayatri Mantra, the most powerful mantra for making things appear, says in its prayer of gratitude, make my mind go in the general direction of the truth, not directly, because as you go towards that greater truth, you have to let other lower truths go to the side. It takes a while to arrange that. It doesn't happen immediately in most cases. So that's it, folks. Be happy. Be happier the next instant. Pray to God for income, and pray for a little bit more, at least 10%. And you will be happy too.